The story of the Upington 26 is one of murder committed in the frenzy of political upheaval. But it is also a lesson in the horror of the death penalty. Although the accused in the Upington 26 murder trial was saved from the gallows, the death row experience left deep scars on the entire community. It was here on 13 November 1985 that a local policeman, Lucas Jacob Sethwala, was killed and set alight. Earlier on this day, a crowd gathered outside the house of his mother, Beatrice Sethwala.
Dit was 'n klipgooiery. Dit was 'n geskredery. Dit was 'n geslagsliedere wat daar gesing was. As ons klim op die beriggewer se huis, dan is my ma baie bly. Dit is nou die Xhosa woorde. Man kwele phezu kwendlu kaMpimpi, mama uyajabula, mangishaya impimpi.
After a while, Mr. Sethwala emerged with a shotgun. He shot into the crowd and injured one person. That further inflamed the crowd, doubtless. He then fled, Mr. Sethwala, leaving behind other people in the house who were unharmed. He was pursued by some people and caught in an open field some distance away. He was fatally injured by 2 blows to his head with his own shotgun. A crowd of some 100 people gathered around his body and he was stabbed and set alight.
Dit was 'n donker van die skare soos hulle gehardloop het. En hulle het afwaarts gehardloop. 'n Rukkie daarna het 'n seunkind met die agterdeur ingekom en gesê aan die baby, hulle het al reeds vir Jetta doodgemaak en daar lê in brand.
The gruesome murder was the start of a saga that would grip the community of Pabalelo for years to come. 26 people ranging in ages from 17 to 57 were charged with the murder. 25 were found guilty on the ground of having common purpose with the killers. 14 were sentenced to death. They were on death row for 2 years before their appeal was heard. 3 were acquitted and the others had their sentences commuted to prison terms. Today the Upington 26 are free and some are back in Pabalelo. They carry the horror with them. Still claiming their innocence, they are ready neither to forgive nor to forget.
Die dag wat die man vermoor is, was ek besig met ander missions om die polisie te beklei op die wat hulle gedoen het. Die wat hulle gedoen het is om die mense met traangas te skiet.
Daai daarvan, daai gebeurtenis in Pilanistraat, ek was hier by die huis gewees. Ek kan nog mooi
op King Street, by 'n openingplek wat geroep word, Tatjie stop. Ek was daar. Ek was hier by daar waar die policeman doodgemaak is. Ek weet nie wie hom doodgemaak het, tot hier vandag toe.
The court, however, found that these people were on the scene and associated themselves with the killing so strongly that they, too, were guilty of murder. It is this that the accused found hard to understand. They were simply not killers, they say. Evelina de Bruin says she did not understand that the judge had sentenced them to death.
Ek sien die mense hier. Ek sien my kinders, almal my familie hier. Maar ek weet nou net nie wat het die regter gepraat. Sien? Dit was my hartsteerste ding. My eie man wil my nie gesê het. Ek het hom gevra hier langs my. Ons het langs mekaar gesit. Ek het hom gevra wat word hier kom hy die mense so. Hy het net sy kop so geskit vir my.
Die hofsaak het nie net alleenlik onze familie geraak nie. Uit baie mense, onze genaastes, onze vriende, heel oor die land, het het zeer gemaakt. Van hulle kan dit nie geglo in hulle harte dat 26 mense kan 1 mens kan doodmaak. En die grootste van dit is dat die meerderheid van ons in die hofsaak, ons was nie criminals.
Ek was net geskok hoe ek doodvonnis kry vir 'n ding wat ek nie gedoen het nie. Dit is 'n skok vir my, maar nie bang nie.
Ek het nog braaf gevoel as ek kom ry. Want daai is ook een van die dele wat ek verwag het in my lewe toe ek die struggle join. Die eerste een is die tronk, die tweede is die dood, die freedom is die laaste. Maar Judge Besond het agter 'n hoorse storie gegaan en van my gevonnis tot die dood vir 'n hoorse storie.
What exactly happened that day will remain uncertain. What is certain is that a man was brutally murdered and someone killed him.
Ek het al net vir my gesê, kyk, dis 'n ongeluk. Dit was nie ons bedoeling. Ons wou nie doodmaak nie. Maar ons was seker maar net in 'n sekere toestand wat ons nog nie kon beheer nie. Kyk maar, 'n mens maak verskoning. In 'n lewe is iets wat kan vervang word nie. As hy weg is, dan is hy weg. Ek sou seker ook vrede gewees het en berus het daar het die engele van die hemel afgekom en vir hom doodgemaak en vir hom uitgebrand. Hy is van mense doodgemaak. En hy is van mense uitgebrand.
As ek sy kind doodgemaak het, sal ek verskoning vra met 'n oopbaard. Ek sal hom sê, mamma, sy Twala, ek vra verskoning. Maar ek verskoning vra vir 'n ding wat hy gedoen het, dan maak ek my skuldig. Ek het hom nie doodgemaak nie. Ek sal nie verskoning vra nie. En mamma, sy Twala, moet sy woorde tel as sy praat.
But one member of the community did apologize. In an emotional moment during the hearings that mostly simmered with pent-up resentment, Reverend Aubrey Beerkus apologized to Jetta Sethwala's mother.
I would like to say to Mrs. Sethwala, the family of Jetta, please forgive us that we allowed you to suffer in silence amidst all the media attention. We were all victims. Forgive us the times that we drove past your house, showing journalists and foreign people where Jetta stayed and telling them our stories and not inviting them to make some time to listen to your pain.
During the 80s, the common purpose principle was widely used in our courts. Sharpeville, Upington, and Delmas saw some of the high-profile cases in which people were found guilty of murders they had not actually committed. But what exactly is common purpose?
Common purpose is a principle in our law in terms of which a group of people who participated in certain actions can be, without actually directly committing a particular crime, can be associated or seen to have associated themselves sufficiently strongly with the deed of the perpetrator that they too can be found guilty of the same crime. Just very briefly, there are two principles or two elements, critical elements, which have to be proved. The one is intent to kill, and the other is the actual action.
Common purpose was particularly controversial at that time because the mandatory death sentence for murder was still in place. Death sentences for the members of the Sharpeville 6 and the Upington 26 sparked an international outcry.
To apply the principle of common purpose in a case of murder, particularly when one is looking at the death sentence, was really, I think, completely unacceptable. In principle, I believe it was incorrect. People have said, and I would be inclined to agree, that the common purpose principle was almost used as a instrument of oppression. I think that it will go down in our history as a very serious mark on administration of justice in South Africa.
Those convicted on the basis of common purpose and sent to death row say their lives will never be the same.
Die doodvonnis maak nie net die persoon seer wat moet gaan hang nie. Eerstens, hy maak jou family seer. En hy maak jou, jy dood 2 keer, kom ek sê dit, voordat jy gaan dood. Jy dood psychological dood jy. Want as jy geloof behang word, dan is jou gedagte nie meer dieselfde persoon wat jy altyd is nie. Dis maar net jou hart wat klop. Met sterk woorde sê ek stem nie saam met die doodvonnis nie. Dit kan enige persoon wees. Dit kan nie, as ek dit sê, bedoel ek nie net vir die ANC leidingskomitee of wat ook al. Dit kan AWB man wat iets doen, of mense op 'n skiet soos Bernstryd om dit gedoen het, of enige mens. Omdat ek praat nou van kennis. Ek praat nie van 'n ding wat ek maar in die papiere lees of hoor nie. Doodvonnis is totaal reg.